Welcome back to Event 3 of F1 Sim Racing's World Championship 2026 here from Formula One's Technology and Media Centre. We were treated to round 7 around Spa, where we had Ulas Ozildrum from Racing Bulls on pole position and secured his first ever win in F1 Sim Racing. It was also the return of Barry Borman. So much to talk about. We're just so glad you've come to join us for our next 2 races. And I am not alone. Come on in. We've got Alex Jakes, Kai Puccini, and Nicola Hume. Alex Jakes, you've rested, you've recovered. You're coming back for 2 races today, plus 2 qualies. But yesterday was extra special. It set things up perfectly for today.
Mixed conditions at Spa, always magnificent, always fun, and great to see a brand new winner. That one's been coming for a while. He's had a breakthrough season and he sealed it with a win. Seemed a little bit stunned, didn't he, that he'd done the job. But a gambling qualifying, setting up the victory in the race, and a 1-2 to boot for Racing Bulls.
It's not easy to assume you're going to win. They went for incredible bold strategy in quali, Kai, and then sometimes you just got to back yourself that you're going to need to practice your celebration. And Ulis didn't quite know what to do there, but you felt the emotion of it.
Oh, yeah, it meant a lot to the team and the 2 drivers. I mean, standout results for both of them. Went for that gamble in qualifying to go for the softs when everyone else went for the intermediates. There still was a little bit of drizzle, but it worked out in the end for them. Got the quali result and was able to convert that into a race result with some great teamwork between the 2 of them to take it home.
Well, great to have you back for day 2. And Nicola, make yourself very at home. I like your style. You're bringing that. What's it like down in the arena with the drivers?
Do you know what? Eerie. I didn't expect it to be so silent in there. That's what's quite weird. I mean, when you're watching it on YouTube, when you're watching it at home, you can obviously hear you two on commentary, but you don't hear the absolute silence during the race to the point of where you can hear the clicking, you can hear the squeaking of the seats. And it's so strange being stood in there watching them race each other and hear absolutely nothing.
Yeah, well, 7 rounds in now after Spa yesterday, it's going to get more tense, you imagine. But you're going to be chatting to the drivers. You want more tension.
I want the drama.
Who's surprising you so far after yesterday? Obviously, a massive surprise for Racing Bulls. But to see Jarno far back down?
Yeah, Jarno genuinely shocked me yesterday. And I think he's obviously going to come back fighting today. But he seems so disappointed in himself because, in terms of the leaderboard, I think Freddie has overtaken him in the leaderboard at the moment. And it's now getting really tight between the two of them. Whereas there was a point where we were like, oh, maybe now Freddie becomes the second driver. But now that doesn't seem to be happening.
Yeah. Well, look, I'm looking forward to it. Just to remind everybody of some of those race highlights, let's talk through them right now. And Quali did throw up something special. You've got to be bold. You've got to be brave in F1 sim racing. And when you are bold and you have a Racing Bull strategy like that, it seems to pay off. The key phrase was, listen to your engineers. That's what I heard a lot. Alex.
It was raining so much, it was basically dark at the start of the race. Chaos at La Source to start things off. Damage that took out a couple of contenders. Julian Klaffenbach had a fantastic start. Great opening lap, had made up a ton of places. It all came undone, though. We go to lap 6, a little bit of 3 wide action, and just making it work. Alfie Butcher with the impressive move there, Kai.
Yeah, Jan Halliday started from 18th and dead last on the grid, but that didn't stop him from getting some great manoeuvres whilst he was fighting his way through the field. Now, this was a crucial moment. Racing Bulls pulling Tom Manley into the pit lane to test out if the slick tyres were going to be favoured over the intermediate. And what we found from Tom Manley's outlap was that the slick tyres were much, much quicker than everyone else on the intermediate, and that is when they decided to pull Ulash straight in. Manley was on the charge on those slick tyres, having that offset to his opponent, was able to pick up quite a few places on his outlap and the laps prior to that. The two Ferraris were working together, fighting their way through the field as well. Fassi and Borman both switching positions. Great to see Barry back on the racetrack and fighting his way through. Alfie Butcher didn't find it easy, did either of the McLaren drivers, did they, Alex?
No, they paid the price after a really tough moment in qualifying, but qualifying was where it was set up for Racing Bulls. That's one thing to set it up, another thing to convert it with strong strategy in the wet, in the dry. This was all the way to the line, an absolute scramble across the line for the final points paying positions. But it was Ilderim's day, and as you said, Tom Deacon, he didn't really know what to do. Our newest winner.
And just incredible achievement for Racing Bulls, their first ever win in F1 sim racing. And good to see Tom Manley up there as well with a P2. That's his first podium since, dare I say, Zandvoort 23-24. And where we racing today, I don't want to give too much away. But quietly, I mean, the interview you had with Freddie and Tom, you tried to extract as much data as you possibly could from both of them. They didn't give too much because they were focusing on today. But Freddie, he's quietly getting things done.
He's always done that, though, hasn't he? He's always been known for doing that. He does it. He's very calm. He's very collected. He's very stern, and he just gets it done and then just doesn't react afterwards. So you can't underestimate what he's capable of.
A driver that was quiet yesterday, I would say, for his standards, is Otis Lawrence. But I looked on the socials, so we're calling this section the socials. We're just calling it the socials.
Nice,
on the socials.
That's good. On the socials.
On the socials.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
3 hours.
Yeah,
The producers spent
sometimes
coming
you
up
can
with that.
brainstorm too much, but we did. Genuinely the best race of my life. Pace was crazy and strategy was perfect. Let's keep this up. Just let's not die in quali again with a laughing emoji. Because it got invalidated his lap time. And he could have been on pole yesterday, Otis. We know how rapid he is. But who was he up against, really? And we're tipping it for the story of this year. He's against Jarno Watmere. What did he post yesterday on the socials? He posted this.
Oh, that's nice.
Keeping it simple. I like that. At 9:03. Why not? Great to see Jarno. And also Jake Benham, who we know is got fantastic pace around, a former teammate of Jarno Opmeer, wiped out again. Double thumbs up, not my year this. However, I can confirm he was doing very well in Uno last night back at the hotel with his McLaren team. Team bonding's going on, and that's what's important. If it's not going your way, it's so important. It's vital that you have a team around you that can step in and lift your spirits. And I think they're going to come out swinging today, potentially, McLaren. We know how capable they are, Kai.
Yeah, two drivers that are very hungry for a lot more. They know that the fortune's not really been on their side so far this season, looking to get as much out of them cars as they can. Both of them very focused on bringing home the results for their team. McLaren, as a constructor, 6th in the constructors right now, only 64 points to their name. So struggling, I think it's fair to say, in the early parts of this season. But now we're into the second half. Could there be a switch around?
How did yesterday's results affect the drivers' standings? That is where the pride is for maybe a former or maybe a future champion to step up. 93 points for Otis Lawrence. Freddie Rasmussen in second place, Jarno Opmeer. But look at that name, Ulas Osiljo. Not even raced all of the races, and he'll only be doing one of them today. So incredible for him, and that'll give him confidence. And as you said earlier on, Alex, he has shown that real pace. 2nd in China, 3rd in Saudi. Mr. Consistent.
Yeah, a breakthrough year for him. He always had races in the past where he'd shown the odd flash of pace, but consistently doing it. And 4th in the standings when he's not full-time. I mean, that is very much a ringing endorsement of maybe he should be full-time. And one of our producers accused me of standing on a soapbox earlier on about this. Not me.
We will talk about that a little bit more because we will get to the driver lineup today. Our team standings, where the money is, that $750,000 prize pool split between this and Alpine. Phenomenal from them, 9th last year in a team standings. For where they are, up in 2nd, absolutely smashing it. It's a team effort, which we always talk about with them, but absolutely dominating. And Racing Bulls, fair play, 100 points. They're 3rd at the moment. Williams down there in 4th. I won't go through all the whole teams. You can see that for yourself. No, I feel like we should move on a little bit. We've got quality to get to. The drivers are in there. I can already see one change from yesterday. That's Jan Halliday out. Duncan Hoffland, the Hofflandmeister General, as I like to refer to him, and he said, could you stop doing that? He is in Aston Martin there, getting ready for this. What is the schedule for today? How can you set up the rest of your Thursday? Well, we will start in Zandvoort with quali, and then we'll have a race at 2 o'clock. Short break, then off to Kota. We'll round out event 3, and then we can start talking the storylines. And we'll come back in a couple of weeks' time for our final, and he will be crowned champion. But Zandvoort, what do we like about this track? What can we expect? Talking to some of the teams, they said it's not necessarily going to be crazy. It's really about that 1 or 2 stop, which I thought perfectly set it up. It's a strategy, responding to what's happening out there, Alex.
This is a day to get qualifying right. It is a 1 overtake zone kind of racetrack, down into turn 1, down into Tarzan corner, and there's the history. If it rains, different story entirely. But the history of it is this is a day to get qualifying right.
And we mentioned a few times already, he's back. Barry Borman, we've missed him. He's back for event 3. And look at that, he's on the podium every single time, racing it and getting the win last year. So vital for him. And lovely to chat to yesterday, Nico.
Oh, he is pure joy. And it's just a constant smile on his face. With every word he was saying, he's just so pleased to be back and sat in that rig and doing what he does best. I'm excited to see what he can do today.
5 points he picked up yesterday with the fastest lap and finishing 8th. But let's find out who is going to be racing today. Where should we start? You've always got Mercedes colours on today, Alex Jakes. The vibe you're going for. Should we start with Mercedes?
Go on then. Let's start with Mercedes. Julian Klaffenbach and Tiko Hardy in the car. Driver taking his place. And again, out goes their lineup from yesterday. So we're starting with the driver swaps. And he's been prioritising this Zandvoort layout. As Tom told you, all of the prize money awarded to the team's championship.
Unbelievable. Can we look at this? Ulas is out. Well done. You got your win. But now you take a breather. Maybe that's the prize for finishing 1st in F1 sim racing. Joni Tormala steps in, the veteran. He's so many races under his belt, Kai.
Yeah, he is such a force, is Joni Tourmalet. As we know, he spent a lot of time in this F1 Sim Racing Championship, and it's great to see him back in the seat once again. You lash out, it's a shame to see him go, especially after a pole and race victory yesterday, but I'm sure that Joni will be able to convert some points as well.
And you never know what he's feeling. He's a perfect poker player. That could be excited, that could be sad, we'll never know. Who's in for Williams then here?
Alvaro Caraton's joining the party. Istvan Pukki, very, very strong yesterday. Top 3 on the grid. Nope, out he goes, and in comes Alvaro Caraton. Slick tyres yesterday for Pukki. Did really well. Faded on the mediums late on in the race. But Alvaro Caraton, proven at this level, multiple pole positions, multiple podiums, and he's the charger for Williams today.
It's fair to say it doesn't matter what your previous result is in F1 sim racing, isn't it, guys?
Well, they decide this in advance, but it is jarring when the winner's on the bench, that's all.
It's a trip. Like, surely they could just change their minds at the last minute when they know that they're kind of fighting for a championship. It's a weird one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's strange, but all the prep's been put in, so yeah.
I'm interested to see how Nico Longo goes today. No points at Silverstone and Belgium, yet picking up points and battling. He'll want to get back to form today. And for Alpine, Josh Ido we know he's just coming fresh off a podium, but Danny Berezny finishing yesterday in 5th. A very, very exciting race for him. And last time out in Barcelona, he did the business, didn't he?
Yeah, did well in quali, didn't he? Came P4 and then ended up P2 in the race. And it's always nice to see a double Welsh boys in the Alpine seats. Very nice.
It's great to see Josh. And obviously, he's been around for a while, and that's the sort of driver swap you want. Someone who delivers when it matters. You've made this strategy, bold call, gone for it, and then he gets it.
He was a second away from winning the race last time out, so drop back in there. Danny Berezny, very strong yesterday at Spa as well. Strong result for Alpine, and their race pace, as Otis Lawrence said, with 4th and 5th. Josh Ido today, and he'll be looking for a similar result to what we saw in Barcelona when he was a major factor for the race win all the way through.
Yeah, it was a great race from both of the Alpine pairings. Otis Lawrence, up until the dying embers, was also in a contention for the race victory, but all eyes were on that man right there, the man who focused on this Barcelona circuit. He said in his interview prior to the race that he'd been focusing for weeks and weeks on this Barcelona circuit, just putting the time in, putting the effort in, and the result really did show. P2 on the road after those last couple of laps. Ismail Fassi walking away with the victory for that one.
And the final change, Duncan Hofland, the Hoflandmeister General, is in. I'm going to keep doing it. He's picked up 2 points in the competition this year. So is Jan Halliday. Like-for-like swap, but Duncan will be hoping qualifying goes better this time. He's been so close, out in Q1 a couple of times, and he just knows that it's quali that is holding him back. He feels very confident with his race pace, so that's going to be exciting to see. Only 1 podium for Aston Martin so far this year, and Ruben Pedrena, no points in the last 4 races. So today's the day, bottom of the team standings at the moment. I tip them to do a little bit better. Who have you caught up with? You look like you have the sort of look that I've been catching up, getting the lowdown. Yeah.
Is it the face is giving it away that I've got a thing that I want to show you?
You are the opposite of Joni Tourmalet, yes.
I had a little chat with Tiko Hardy because it's his first race back since he raced his 1 time in Barcelona this series so far. So I wanted to catch up to see how he was feeling.
So I'm joined by Tiko Hardy. I'm making sure that I got that pronunciation right because I know I want to get it right just for you. But welcome back. How are you feeling ahead of today?
Excited, feeling good, to be honest. Yeah, better prepared than last time, I think. Yeah, just really excited.
I mean, you say last time we only saw you race in Barcelona. That's the only race you've done so far. So last night, obviously, we were here for a race session, but were you kind of back in your own rig practicing for Zandvoort?
No. I don't have the opportunity to do that, but I don't think I need it. I've prepared more than enough, and at this point, you just need to make sure you don't drive too much as well. Otherwise, you're just gonna make yourself go crazy. So, I'm confident. So, yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you. Those are some bold words that you've just said there, where you feel like you've practiced just enough. Because I feel like, especially when it comes to sim racing, some of the drivers feel like they can't practice enough, and they just keep going and going and going.
I mean, I've done that before myself. I think it's very common for sim racing drivers to, drive a crazy amount. I've done it myself before, but I've noticed when you take your mind off the game for a little bit, it will just help you perform. So yeah, that's what I've done. So yeah, I'm just feeling good. So
Nice. It's good that you're feeling good. How are you settling into Mercedes? You enjoying your new team?
yeah, definitely. The team is really nice people to work with. It's not been the start we were looking for, but I mean, there's been multiple circumstances that have maybe influenced that. So no, I'm really happy with both my teammates. Really good help, especially Thomas, of course. He's got so much experience by now. That yeah, it's just really lovely people to work with. So yeah, that's great.
That's nice. I mean, at the moment, Mercedes, if I believe, are 7th in constructors, and you've been brought in specially for Zandvoort. So do you feel a bit of pressure on your shoulders to get those points?
Yeah, I mean, there's always pressure, but not more than what I would feel otherwise. I'm trying to be cool. As sounds easy, it's not, but no, I don't feel more pressure than what I usually would. It's a high pressure environment, so yeah, you get used to it after a while. It's only my 4th race, but still, yeah, you do get used to it a bit.
But also, I want to throw this last question at you, because we are here in this sort of whole new setup for sim racing here at F1 HQ in Biggin Hill. But what happens in quali is every time a team goes out, the lights go boo and go down. How does that feel the moment that happens?
I mean, it was a bit of a surprise yesterday when I saw it on the screen, because I don't know if it was a thing in the last event, actually. But, I mean, it looks cool. I mean, when you're in the rig and the lights go out, you feel, I don't think it's a great feeling. So I don't hope to experience that today, but yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I mean, it's cool. It's really nice for the broadcast. It brings some more excitement. Yeah, it's good for the broadcast for sure.
We'll go chill out, relax, sort of plan out the track and prep, even though you've done enough prep.
Yeah, I will.
Thank you for talking to me.
Yeah,
Thank
okay.
you.
Thank you.
Tiko Hardy, good. Well, I've been calling him Tycho. So,
Tiko.
But he says everyone gets it. Tiko. Everyone gets it wrong. I can just confirm that it's a dry session. The session is underway for quali around Zandvoort, but obviously they're out in intermediate. So we'll just wait a little bit more time before we go down and join them live. Interesting sort of to find out about Tiko. I think he's practiced enough.
Yeah.
That's fascinating. From what we hear, the drivers put the grind in 9 hours, 8 hours at least a day. And Tiko says, I've done enough.
Yeah, I found that a strange response, because I think I'm just so used to drivers constantly working, that when he went, no, I didn't practice last night, I've done just enough. You're like, oh, okay. Right, well, let's see how you get on then in Zandvoort. I don't know, it's a strange one. I mean, everyone approaches it differently, right?
Yeah. Well, look, they approach it differently. A guy that needed to hit the ground running was Barry Bromond. I've already mentioned that. We had a win for Ismail Fassi. It's the Ferrari drivers that are back to what they would qualify their best 2 drivers. They're back to full strength and anything can happen for them. Do you think it's too late for a charge now with MKay? Picking up a 7th place finish for Fassi and Barry in 8th place and the fastest lap. That point, I mean, it's great, but it's not enough. They need to start fighting back into Alpine and especially Racing Bulls now.
I mean, as Jarno said in the last race, every point counts, and every point towards the championship is going to help out the teams towards that prize pool and also help out the drivers in terms of their driver standings. I mean, Ismail's done a great job taking home an outstanding haul of points for Ferrari at the moment, managing to get them to 5th in the Constructors' Championship. So with Barry now being in the lineup and being able to carry some of the weight of the team, it'll be interesting to see what they're able to do now.
And I can confirm that is the tallest person as part of the background staff and team there next to the person who's not even sat down. So there you go. It's an absolute team. I'm obviously joshing. We've got action underway at the moment, but we'll come and join in just a moment. So Ferrari looking good. We know they're back to full strength. What can happen for them? Also, Jarno has said, can't work a miracle every time. He managed to do that yesterday by getting back in the points. However, a team that I was surprised didn't eke in there was Haas. Joris Krozen, currently 10th in the driver standings, and Thomas Gau, the Haas team, picking up points. It's just fantastic to see for them, the underdogs, and anything's possible for them if they have that confidence going into the race.
Yeah, they're looking to maximise what they've got underneath, mascots and all, the Haas rigs that we can see.
Bringer de Gluck. You've got to be looking Irish. Okay, good. Good to see.
Yeah. Strong. We've got all bases covered on this programme.
The luck of the Irish, I'm hoping, for Thomas Gal.
Yeah, they're looking for a really strong P5 and then hope that there's some drama ahead like we had in Barcelona. That's their aim, I think, going into most days in qualifying like we've got just ahead of us.
Yeah, they finished last in the team standings this year, so already improvement, and still lots of races to go, as we'll have Zandvoort in a moment. Joris Krozen, home race for him, home race for Tiko Hardy, and Jarno Opmeer as well, as we know. Quali hasn't been his thing. He talked about it yesterday, as you mentioned his quote, like every point counts, but he'll want to get back into some form today, won't he?
I think especially after the disappointment of yesterday, of course, as you mentioned, Tom, he did a great job at recovering to even score points in the race. I mean, me and Alex, I'm sure, were sat in the box at some point and thinking, well, there's no chance of him even recovering anything from this race, especially with the interchangeable conditions. But 16th on the starting grid. I mean, from Jarno Opmeer's perspective, I'm sure he will have said himself that it's not good enough for himself, and we would expect better from the three-time world champion. I mean, this is the first time in 6 years that he's ever been out of Q1, so it was a big surprise when we saw him go out so early, but if anyone's going to be able to bounce off the back of something and recover quickly, it would be that man right there.
And he's the only driver to pick up points in every race. Out of all of them, he's the only person, so you can never write him off. Quali, just behind me, has started. You can see that. Well, I won't even look at the camera. I'll just be looking like this now for the rest of it. But this is a big moment for all of the teams because it sets the standard. It's a long day today. Tired-wise, energy levels, they need to look after themselves today. Get a good start today. That could be the difference for the rest of the action.
Jarno Opmeer can't afford a third bad qualifying session in a row. It's as simple as that. The grip on his championship is going to loosen if he can't put it right today, because he can't keep pulling rabbits out of the hat. So he's got a dry session. He's got a track that he's performed at in the past, and he will be hoping minimum Q3. Ideal session for him is the top 5 as we look at Nico Longe, who is always in animated conversation about something or other, isn't he?
Yeah, you could never quite tell his mood, whether he's happy or displeased with something, or he's really excited. But he, obviously, as I mentioned earlier, no points in Silverstone in Belgium, looking to get back to form. And it just didn't go right for him. The strategy stayed out longer as well, didn't pit. I was baffled by that, but you know, it worked for Esteban Pucci. You mentioned he was on the mediums and lost a bit of pace towards the end. But Nicolas Longe, we know how good he is. Do you reckon he'll be feeling extra pressure to help out the team?
Well, I think that's why we actually saw him stay out longer on the intermediates, to help out his teammate, Vis van Pucci, who boxed earlier for those slick compounds. I think we saw Nico Longe as a tactical team effort to stay out and try and hold up the rest of the field, so that it was more beneficial for Vis van Pucci boxing onto those slick tyres earlier on. And I think Longe did a perfect job of that to get his teammate back in contention for a podium spot. I mean, it wasn't until the second event, Tom, that we saw Nicolas Longe finish outside of the top 3 in qualifying. We were saying 3 was his lucky number because for multiple races straight, that's where he was qualifying. He's a qualifying maestro. We know he has the pace. We know he has the one-lap pace. But in the last 2 races, he just hasn't been able to convert that into point-scoring positions.
There is Jake Benham for McLaren. He's had a podium this year. He's hoping for another one now. It looks like they're doing nothing. Just for anyone who's new to F1 sim racing, they're doing nothing at the moment.
Yeah.
I'd be like, what's happening? Qualies are beginning. Yes, they're in the zone. They're getting prepared. But why is this happening at the moment?
Because we put 18 minutes on the clock and they don't need 18 minutes. So maybe if we went to the sprint format, sprint quali, might see some on-track action.
Good feedback session. We'll save that for the end.
I'll write that and I'll pop it in a little box.
Please do. Yeah,
Fold it up.
I
Pop it in a
agree
little
with
box.
you. I absolutely agree with you.
Yeah.
But 18 minutes. There's no point going out on the track for the evolution of the track.
No, you want to be last over the line. Track at its best. Dry session, and obviously the cars don't get the effect of dirty air off the back of them. Obviously they're ghosting, but still, you want your own part of the track. You don't want the distraction. But the track is at its best at the end. Yes, it is. Israel Fassi. I do like it when we get acknowledgement of the camera. I'll tell you that. Sitting there, no reaction at all. Will we get a reaction from Jarno? No, he's the champion. Doesn't have to react, does he? So he's waiting. Big session coming up for him, as we've discussed earlier on. Team behind as well. It is the arena space is it's large enough, but it's still very, very intense down there, isn't it? It's not the spread that we had last year in our previous venue. There you go. There's a look. I mean, it's quite adversarial, isn't it? To be honest, very strange thing. You you hear nothing but the clicking of the gear shifts and the pedals, and then a couple of exclamations if it gets a little bit spicy in the races. We're in the comm box now rather than in the middle of the arena, and I missed that slightly because you were like, okay, someone's shouting at someone, something's gone down here, let's find out what it is.
And I'd normally leave yourself doing the commentary to head around and look around to bring that back to you. Go, by the way, it was that driver that said that to that driver.
Yeah.
Amazing moments. Otis Lawrence there, final yawn before going. This is the moment where you talk to the engineers, you talk to the rest of the team, and sort of reiterate what needs to happen, when it needs to happen. As Barry is out on track at the moment, just getting used to the fact he was the previous winner around here at Zandvoort, and previously before that, twice on the podium finishing P2. If anyone can do it, and a time to do it for him, it's Barry.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see if he's able to do it for a fourth time running. It was pole position and the race victory last year, so Borman coming off the back of a high and coming into event 3, some tracks that are clearly very strong for him. So let's see how he gets on in the Zandvoort qualifying. First driver to hit the circuit for the first push laps that we'll see in the session. So Barry just trying to make the most of the track time available to him. Josh Edo also out there at the moment.
Josh Edo back in the car, and that means that there's been plenty of prep specifically for this racetrack. Worked for him in Barcelona, when he was being able to be very aggressive with the strategy, and then everyone else's shenanigans out front allowed him to put the pressure on all the way to the end. He was denied by under a second for the race victory. Back to Barry Burmond. He's going to give us an attacking lap. What a treat. Down into turn 1, Tarzan Bocht that we've got. The first corner on this racetrack. Undulating, it's a roller coaster ride. There's not much room for error. Banked corners as well. Plenty of steering lock as he rotates the car from 180 degrees, Tom Deacon.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one, as is Nicola. We're going to leave you to it, Kai Petrini, Alex Jakes, but we can get a cup of tea. Would you like another coffee?
I would love another coffee.
Okay.
God, don't make Tom Deacon buy you 2 coffees in a row. The man remembers. Time for qualifying, Kai. Time for qualifying. And as we saw yesterday, almost dismissed the fact that we only have 3 people go out in the first part of qualifying, because we've got 18 cars, and then the reigning champion went out last time. So anyone can fall, and as if by magic, we've got a moment off the road. Duncan Hoffman in the middle part of the racetrack appears to have dropped it. We'll get a replay of that for you, thanks to our talented gallery. This is the banked corner, the last around the racetrack. Shorter lap this, a real contrast to where we were racing yesterday in Spa-Francorchamps. And because he's done the first flying lap, everyone's got a 1:07.485 to beat Barry Boromond. Unbelievable form around here. I told you that gallery was good. Here we go. Trying to get wide as possible, turn in, drop a wheel on the grass, round goes the car. Thankfully, not too far in the gravel. I love moments like that. Not for him, obviously, but to remind us that this constant appearance of the cars in rails is anything but. They're super accurate, they're millimetre perfect. It's gonna go wrong, good time for it to happen. A lot of time, still got another run. You can do something about it. Duncan Hoffman still in the session, not beached, still back out there. It just shows you that wide turn in, trying to carry all of the momentum onto the back straight, just a little bit too wide, trying to make that corner as wide as possible for the speed on entry, but then carry it through to the exit. I read the graphic wrong earlier on, obviously, which you all knew, but I'm just going to correct it. Thomas Ronhaar is in the car. He's got a new teammate in Tiko Hardy, who we heard from earlier on, and he is going to be trying to produce some of the performances of old. I've got to admit, it's still pretty jarring to see the Mercedes man not in contention every single week like you'd expect him to be. One of the reasons for it, qualifying as we've seen. So this is a high-pressure session for multiple drivers in the context of what we've seen in the early parts of the season. I've got to say, the standard's so high across the board that there's plenty of drivers. And so Barry Burman's proven around here, Kai.
Yep.
Otis Lawrence extended his championship lead yesterday. Ismail Fassi is a race winner so far this year, and Nicolas Longuet needs no motivation to turn around a difficult couple of races where he's not been in the points.
Well, we've seen him fighting for a championship in the Ferrari colours before. This time, it was the swap with Ismail Fassi, almost traded tops, as if it was a football transfer between Ismail Fassi and Nicolas Longuet for this season. Longuet now in the blue Williams colours. As you mentioned, Alex, a very high pressure session at the moment. And with only 3 drivers getting knocked out of Q1, it almost makes it hurt just that little bit more if you're in those bottom 3 drivers. Borman feels that he's done enough to already make his way through into Q2. And Duncan Hoffland, after that mistake that we saw earlier, which found him beached in the gravel, he needs to be very careful here, because it was this exact moment in Silverstone where we saw him caught out in qualifying because he didn't set a good enough banker lap, or in the circumstances of Silverstone, didn't set a banker lap at all, and then invalidated his final lap at all. So Hoffland needs to be careful here, and also needs to push like hell on his final lap if he wants to find himself in Q2. For Barry Borman, though, he can laugh on a little bit and chat with his engineers, as he's already retired from the session. Hoffland, completely different story on his face.
Yeah, 4.2 kilometres for the drivers out there. On the exit of turn 10, he found himself in the grass and brushing the gravel, but still in the session. We'll have 36 laps later on, the first of 2 races today. Zandvoort, which has had mixed conditions in the past. It was dry last year when Barry Borman showed everyone how it was done. He was the winner by 1.4 seconds, broke clear of that DRS and checked out of town. He was also very, very strong with his race pace across the board. So he's back in the championship. He is back straight away to the top of the times. And Jarno Opmeer looking to turn the page on a difficult run, as we've covered already so far today. Just to tell you, we'll also be racing at the Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas, which has provided some of the best ever moments in this championship. So the top 4 are very comfortable with what they've done. The margins out there will tell you that it is a shorter circuit. Tom Manley coming off the back of a super P2, his best ever finish in the championship yesterday. Only a second podium as well for him. They worked really, really well as a team, and he did well to deal with the car on intermediates. Nicholas Longuet on his outlap could have panicked, didn't panic, could have lost track position to Freddie Rasmussen, kept his head and delivered the team a 1-2. After all the celebrations and that breakthrough moment, sometimes the race after can be back to normal, and sometimes the performance can drop. They'll be hugely intent, but that's not the case. He's currently P10 right now.
Well, as you said, coming straight off a high is the Racing Bulls team. It's actually their first ever race victory as a constructor in the F1 Sim Racing Championship, not just for the drivers, but also for the team. It was a great day yesterday in the office. They'll be looking to try and ride that high and also take that momentum and race positions into qualifying and the race today. Tom Manley currently 10th in the standings, Joni Tormela currently 14th, so both of them in a safety position for now, but do remember all the drivers are going to improve on their final laps here. Tom Manley's going to break the beam and across the line into the banking of turn 1 through Tarzan we go. Tom Manley will be looking for a hot lap if possible. A little bit squirmish on the accelerator, maybe losing a couple of hundredths here and there, but in the world of esports, that is the difference between qualifying or not.
Certainly is. Through Hugenholtz corner he goes, now into the sweepers, where there's not much for the driver to think about, but there very much is the incredible change of direction coming up right now, where you're taking all of that speed through there, and immaculate stuff for Tom Manley. Now this is coming up to the corner where we saw the spin earlier on for Duncan Hoffland. This is where he was trying to make the car as wide as possible. You can see they're all aiming for that little strip of tarmac that is there. This LiDAR scanned track for the game. And now this is the back straight, even though it isn't straight, into... There is half an overtaking opportunity there in real life, but such is the standard here in the Sim Racing Championship, there'll be no chance in there unless we get wet weather conditions later on. It's dry at the moment. It's expected to remain dry. Tom Manley looking for a lap that improves his time and comfortably takes him through into the next part of qualifying. 10th on his first run. 7th is exactly what he was looking for, an improvement by over 200ths of a second. And his new teammate for today, Joni Tormela, gets himself up to 11th. Duncan Hoffland with a massive improvement, and he needed a massive improvement. And he's in 12th at the moment. Remember, bottom 3 go out at the moment. Joni Tormela looking over his shoulder. Josh Edu's on an improvement. He'll need one. He's currently in 15th. Ruben Pedreno now finds himself across the line, and he goes up to a fine 6th position. Josh Edo in the drop zone. At least he was. Welcome to P3, that man. Thomas Ronhaar, former around here in the past, 11th at the moment. Tomela, Prozen and Gao at the bottom of the page. We talked about Haas beforehand, and they find themselves at the bottom of the page. 17th and 18th for the Haas pair and Joni Tormela in the car for this event. And unfortunately for our Finnish king and driver who's been around with so much experience, it's the bottom three for him in P16. At the top of the timing page, Fast Freddy ahead of Alfie Butcher and Josh Edu. But a bit of a surprise there, considering it was a good recovery lap from Duncan Hoffland. Could have lost his head after having that early spin. He's got himself through into the next stage of qualifying. Freddie top, the 3 to 4 were Joni Tormela, Joris Kreuzen and Thomas Gau in the second Haas.
Hoffland just about scraping through by 1/100th of a second over Joni Tormela. Tormela will be kicking himself. I'm sure he'll be analysing that qualifying lap, trying to find where he could have got that little bit of extra pace. I'm sure he already knows in his head. He'll be playing it back. Where did he make a mistake? Where could he have planted the accelerator just that margin sooner? And that would have been enough to get him through into Q2. But for the Haas boys, it's just an event 3 that's going from bad to worse. No points in the race yesterday. No worries as well from Otis Lawrence as he lets out a big yawn or maybe a sigh as he gets himself through into Q2 with no worries. But just confirmation right there on your screen, Tamas Gau is going to be starting from 18th. And as the lights go out, both the Haas drivers are eliminated from Q1 along with Joni Tormela.
Joris Kreuzen going into today in 10th in the standings. It's had some great days so far this year with really strong performances, a couple of 5th places as well. Tamas Gau has been up there scoring an 8th position. They've had moments where it's looked really good, but that's all been on the basis of a good qualifying performance. Just the setup not there for both drivers. Telltale when both drivers are at the bottom of the pile. They'll regroup, they'll come back, and they'll hope for mixed conditions later on. You're looking at Freddie Rasmussen, who was P1 at the end of Q1, and our driver second in the point standings after yesterday's result. Didn't seem moved by it at all, but he doesn't seem moved by much. Our regular winner and the Alpine pair, all smiles, aren't they? All smiles when we have this all-Welsh lineup. Another man who really is enjoying that Zandvoort track is Barry Borromond, and he is absolutely a contender for pole position today.
A workhorse out there on the circuit and instant impact into the Ferrari lineup, I think it's fair to say. As soon as he landed in the UK turf and was able to get on the simulator and managed to get some results in for Ferrari, it was the Barry we all know and love back in the simulators. For the Williams drivers, both of them making it through into Q2 to try and get their talent out there on the circuit. Alvaro Carreton and Nicolas Longuet. Carreton actually coming home second at the end of that Q2 session. And Longuet, as we've mentioned before, always strong with his qualifying performances, will be trying to keep on that train.
Well, indeed. We have Q2 coming your way in a few moments' time. And Alvaro Carreton hoping that all of the practice around the 4.3 kilometres of Zandvoort circuit will be put to good use. That is what he is looking for. That is a look down into the arena. And unfortunately for the Haas drivers, their lights have been switched out. And we will see no further part for them in the session so far. But what we can do is hear from both of them right now in conversation with Nicola.
Yeah, this is a tricky one. I always find this is probably the hardest interview to do, to be the one of those going out in Q1. But it felt right to kind of grab both of you, because obviously that was a disappointing session for the both of you. But talk me through what you're both feeling right now.
Yeah, a bit disappointed. But I lost 1/10 in the first corner already. Then just a bad lap in the end as well.
What about for you, Tamas?
Same thing happened. Like first corner I lost a 10th, and then the rest of the lap was just gone anyways.
I mean, as it stands, Joris, I believe you're in 10th position, and it seems like it's a struggle to kind of get you up the table. Is there a way that you can kind of work together as a team with your engineers to come back for the race later on, just come back stronger?
It's going to be really difficult, but I guess something can happen, but I don't see it happen likely.
Okay, this is very negative vibes, and I'm going to attempt to pick you up from this, because occasionally we all have an off day, we all have an off race, we all have an off quali. However, there is time in between now and the race, and then we're racing Kota later on this evening. Do you think you can sort of chill out, go through everything in your head and come back stronger later?
I mean, I'm not racing Kota, but I'm racing Zandvoort, and then we will just hope for the very best in case chaos happens.
Okay, so you've only come here just for Zandvoort. You're getting that done today, so hopefully you can absolutely smash the race later.
Hopefully, yeah.
We're going with hopefully. That's a tricky chat. You two go and chill out. Thank you very much for joining me. Back to you, Alex and Kai.
Thank you very much, Nicola. Always appreciate the effort that Nicola tries to put a sunny disposition on the drivers who've had a tough moment. But both the Haas guys seeing it coming undone at turn one. Turn one, 180 degrees, brilliant overtaking opportunity in the race, slightly banked. And when it is a bank corner, Kai, someone tempts you in to take more risk than you want to. The problem is that both of the drivers knew, oh, it's gone. It's gone instantly. And when losing a tenth defines whether you're in or you're out, knowing that at the start, they would have known they were beaten before they'd even got to the second turn.
That must be the most deflating thing as a driver. With fine margins in the F1 Sim Racing Championship here, if you know your lap's already gone down at turn one, then you're already going to be doubting yourself for the rest of the lap, and there's not really any way that you can recover that. As you mentioned, turn one, big risk, big reward. You want to try and push the car and trying to carry as much low speed as possible. There's a big snap there from Nicolas Longuet. He was able to catch that one there through the final bend. A bit of an just coming off the rumble strip there as he was planting the accelerator, the rear stepping out, but reaction times of a cat. Nicolas Longuet keeps it in a straight line.
There's a lot of curbing there, but it is not as simple as, say, your gentle ones on the left and the right. Freddie Rasmussen here, double curbing on the banking, nearly caught out our French driver for Williams, gathered it together, as you say. Superb reactions. Jarno Opmeer is the driver in your picture with 10 minutes of Q2 to go. Curious times in qualifying for him yesterday, but didn't really go to plan at Silverstone either. They've both been mixed sessions, but we will see just chilling out. Just having a laugh.
Just a nice cruise.
There we go, big screen on the left. This is incredibly accurate between the sand dunes. Big wheel on the left-hand side, always has a big queue in real life. Let's see how much commentary we can do over third gear on board. And there we are, the grandstand's always full, thanks to Max Verstappen in the real thing. And Jarno Opmeer has set the standard as part of that Red Bull setup. He's trailing back to the pits. And it means that we can check in with everyone still competing in the session. And those drivers still competing in the session. Red Bull looking for a strong day today. Freddie Rasmussen seems immediately in very good form. Wasn't happy with his race yesterday, even though it was a strong third. Chasing them all the way down, forcing the Racing Bulls to work in the DRS train, the truck and trailer that we've seen. And Freddie Rasmussen is waiting for the business laps now, let's be honest.
Well, I mean, Alex, you're optimistic, thinking you're going to get any emotion out of Freddie Rasmussen in the first place. I mean, he could have a lights to flag victory, fastest lap, pole position, and fastest in every session. I don't think we would still break a smile on Freddie's face, and that's been the story of his career. But although he's a silent assassin out on the track, he always brings home the points. A grand total of 79 points in the championship after yesterday. Now jumps his teammate Jarno Opmeer by 2 points for second in the standings. And that now tallies him up to 1,173 career points.
Wow. Let's have another look. This is the second Williams. We saw a moment through this corner. Oh, hello. We're going to get the full spin this time. So it nearly happened to Longuet, and it did happen to Caraton.
Yeah, the Williams drivers not having a fun time there through Kummerbocht, as losing the rear once again is Alvaro Caraton. Maybe just taking some influence there from his teammate. Don't worry about it, it's only your first laps. The real crunch time is about to commence soon. 8 minutes now remaining on the clock. It's normally around the 5-minute mark that drivers make their way out onto the circuit for their actual proper final flying laps. Drivers making their way out. The likes of Nicholas Longuet, Otis Lawrence, Tom Manley, Barry Borman, all making their way out onto the circuit, as they won't be too pleased with their first initial laps. They'll get another banker on the board to try and improve.
Yeah, Otis Lawrence in 10th position. His teammate Josh Edu in 5th position. A yellow flag momentarily out. There'll be plenty of cars on their out laps going at a reduced speed, which will automatically trigger that from the game. Rasmussen, Fassi, Pedreno. Ruben Pedreno with a great first effort. I know it's only effort number 1, but it's a wonderful foundation to take into the next stage. Final runs of Q2 coming your way any moment now. Nicholas Longuet looking for a far more sedate time of it when he is making his way through that final banked corner. And so here we go. Key runs now on your screen. Nicholas Longuet around that first turn. That was the undoing of the Haas drivers, looking for an improvement. He needs one. He's currently P11.
Well, he has his good luck charm again with him this weekend. We saw it a little bit earlier in the broadcast, his little Pokemon figure that he actually picked up at the first event in DreamHack in Birmingham, and he's brought that to every race so far. It's been sat there on his PC as he goes for all of his hot laps. Let's see if he's able to extract some of that luck into this lap, as Longuet is just threading the needle, negotiating with the car on the limits as he now flies through the section, round Rulik Bocht, and now through turn 10 onto the little back straight. DRS now enabled. Big braking zone into 11 as he goes into the Audi S's. He needs to pick this one out right. Use the curb on the left. Use a little bit on the right as he now makes his way through down towards Kumo Bocht once again. This was where we saw the mistake just a couple laps ago. This time keeps it in a straight line. Accelerator and rear wing open. Dash to the line. Where do we see Longuet go in his Williams? It was from 12. Now up to P2. 10-place improvement. And that is very solid there from Nico Longuet. Otis Lawrence, though, purple middle sector. Big improvement at the moment.
You're going to see the fast laps come in. Again, another driver dancing on the curb. You could see what it cost him. He was over 0.4 of a second up on his previous best. Dropped a couple of hundredths dancing over that curb behind Nicholas Longuet, but up to 6th position with that effort. Ruben Pedreno, that is a superlative lap. That is a lap and a half from the Aston Martin man. And that is excellent to go ahead of Alfie Butcher. Barry Borman is in 3rd position. Jake Benham can improve, but he can only improve to 10th place. Freddie Rasmussen now in 12th position. Josh Edu is in 13th place. And Freddie Rasmussen comes over the line, deletes my previous sentence, and goes P1. Josh Edu goes to P4. Jarno Opmeer goes to P4. Key moments unfolding, and the championship leader down in the drop zone as it stands in 13th position.
Ooh, that's a lesson learned. Never call the standings until the Red Bulls have crossed the line, as Freddie Rasmussen tops the tables. You can never underestimate this pairing, as Fast Freddie has just made his way back up to the top of the timing order. Nicola actually asked Freddie yesterday, is this the return of Fast Freddie that we all know and love? And, well, in Freddie's very brief words, he said, I don't know.
Well, it's looking very good. Core pace from the start. What about the Aston Martin man then? Ruben Pedreno, 0.4 of a second, 0.04 of a second away from the ultimate pace. Only Q2, still with a run to go, of course. But this is set up very, very intriguingly on board with the Aston Martin man. He's had a real breakthrough in terms of his pace. Thomas Ronhaar is the driver on the bubble by just over 1/100th of a second. But Tiko Hardy, his teammate, parachuted in for this event. Ahead of him at this stage, he was confident in his practice and that he got the balance right. And at the moment, 8th and out qualifying Thomas Ronhaar would suggest that that has gone to plan. There's still 3.5 minutes in the session yet to go, and it could well all change. Talking of all change, out in Q1 yesterday, upper positions return for Jarno Opmeer, slipped behind teammate Freddie Rasmussen yesterday, but looks like he is in a much better place with overall core pace today. Jarno Opmeer, got to go back a while though for his last podium around this layout. You've got to go back to 2020.
Wow.
For the last time Jarno Opmeer placed on the podium at this Zandvoort venue, which is an ever-present feature since it joined the Formula One calendar in F1 sim racing. Our previous winners around here, Barry Burriman, Freddie Rasmussen, Lucas Blakely, Danny Moreno, and a previous early win for Freddie Rasmussen. So, unusual. Jarno Opmeer maybe negotiating a couple of the tracks where they're not his favourite. We know he's proven at Kota, which is where we conclude this event at later on. So a mixed-up picture. Again, different drivers being parachuted in. Plenty of driver changes for this session. Change of fortunes for Jarno Opmeer. Driver's got 17 wins to his name. Just the 5 pole positions, which tells the story of his one-lap pace, but it looks a lot better around Zandvoort. He'll be delighted with that. It's the pressure then, the pendulum swings, and the pressure's on Otis Lawrence, who for the first time this year in qualifying, you've got to say, is looking in a bit of trouble at this stage of the quali hour.
He really is. Big switch up from what we saw yesterday. Otis Lawrence, after the Q1 departure of Freddie Rasmussen, had a few words to share with all of the drivers in the arena there, but not the same story today at all. Actually, quite the opposite, as it is, in the other hand, it's going to be Jarno Opmeer who's got the hand over Otis Lawrence, who's trying to fight his way through into Q2 at the moment, being down in 13th. Remember, any position from 11th down to 15th will be departing from this Q2 session, and with only 1 minute 30 remaining on the clock, Otis Lawrence only has one more chance to get his way through. Up until that final sector, where we saw the mistake through Kumo blocked, Otis Lawrence looked to be on a good lap. Dropped a couple of temps, dropped a couple of hundredths on that section right there. Drivers are really getting caught out by that exit curb, Alex. It is difficult to get the power down through a corner. You still have steering lock on at that point because you're going straight into another right-hander, but you need to negotiate that throttle so the rear end doesn't kick out.
Otis Lawrence with a key lap for his aspirations to become an F1 sim racing champion. I cannot afford a Q2 exit, and he's taken advantage of some tough qualifying days for Jarno Opmeer earlier on. Yesterday was, statistically, his worst qualifying performance, but there were mitigations in there. It was wet, it was dry, it was wet again, and he cut the corner, invalidated the lap at the chicane at the end of the lap. He's in 13th at the moment here. There would be a chance of points from there, but it would need a lot of work around this tight, twisty, difficult to overtake circuit, and so he needs an improvement. He's finding an improvement, but it's not by tenths, it's by hundredths at the moment. It would elevate him up the order. Now let's see how he goes through this part of the racetrack. This is key. Dials it back a bit, not using that double curb, not wide through 13 like we've seen in the past. It's going to be improvement. How much, though, is key, and that really marched on in the final sector. He improves up to second. Pressure? What pressure? How much curve is Fassi taking? Nowhere near as much as well. And he looks like he's going to improve his time. Driver currently on the bubble in 10th position, at risk. And he does improve, but only up to 8th then. Nicolas Longuet with a big lap in the context of his season. Ismail Fassi at risk. Previous second place finisher around this circuit in 9th. Over the line we go with Jake Benham. Is there a time for Jake Benham? There is, but it only takes him to 14th. Thomas Ronhaar, capable of brilliance around here. Seen it in the past, trying to knock out Tom Manley. Over to you, Thomas Ronhaar across the line. He does knock out Manley, and Alvaro Carreton parachuted into the seat, and that is Ismail Fassi done as we go across the line as well, and eliminated then in the drop zone. Jake Benham, Duncan Hoffland, Tiko Hardy, Tom Manley, second yesterday, and Ismail Fassi. So a second place finisher from yesterday's race, a race winner from earlier in the season, and that is a turnaround at the last. Scraping through by 100th of a second is Thomas Ronhaar, and it is mighty close, almost comically close at the front of the field. The big headline there is not who went out, it's that our championship leader found a lap under pressure. First time in qualifying this year, he's been under that sort of pressure on a final run, and he passed the test.
Managed to get more than enough on the board. All it took was keeping that car straight out of the final section. got himself in a straight line, got himself to the line, and it was enough for third position in that session. Freddie Rasmussen and Barry Borman topping the timings, both of them on identical lap times to the 1,000th of a second. So how will this battle fight out going into Q3? Will they still be bashing heads between the two of them? Will it be another pole position for Fast Freddie to add to his repertoire, or will Barry Borman come back with a bang?
Ishmael Fassi, 6,000ths of a second. That is brutal. Tom Manley finding himself with time good enough for 12th. Tiko Hardy in 13th. And Hofland, who had the spin earlier on in the quali hour. And Jake Benham finding himself eliminated slightly further adrift, a 10th away. The lights you would have seen switched out on Racing Bulls. And they find themselves after a 1-2 yesterday and their greatest ever day in the championship. We talked about it. How often does this happen when you come thudding back down to earth? They're not part of Q3. There's Joni Tormala. I still think it's a bit brutal to make them sit in the dark, but other opinions are available on us switching off the lights in the arena. Joni Tormala and Tom Manley will not be taking part in Q3, but we will see Freddie Rasmussen up against Barry Borman. Otis Lawrence will be in the mix as well. Jarno Opmeer having a much better qualifying hour than he has done at Silverstone and at Spa, our previous two events. Nicolas Longuet in 5th. Ruben Pedreno, the ultimate pace fell away, but P6 would still be very strong for him. Josh Edo doing exactly what the team need him to do. Find Q3 when you're the favoured driver in the second seat. Then Alfie Butcher and Alvaro Caraton joining Thomas Ronhaar, who you saw a moment ago. And Tiko Hardy just left with his thoughts after that one. The driver in that car for this event, for this race, for this round. And but he's not taking part in Q3 then, as he begins the debrief of what worked and what didn't work. Drivers will know immediately where they were strong and where they were not. Just looking across the board, theoretical best across the entire racetrack is about a 10th quicker. But it's obviously a trade-off between the straight line speed and the grip that you have through the highly technical parts of the circuit. I love an identical lap time.
Yeah, why not? Especially when it's two of the big hitters. That man right there, Freddie Rasmussen and Barry Borman, both going at it up at the front end.
OK, let's check in with not that Ferrari man, the other one, Ishmael Fassi, in conversation with Nicola.
Yep, I've got the other Ferrari man. It's Ishmael Fassi. How are you feeling after that session?
I'm disappointed. We were really quick around this track. The first Q2 run wasn't well. Second one was enough to be through to Q3. And then on the last sector, I just took it safely, and because of that, messed it up a lot. Last corner, I missed the apex completely. And yeah, not enough for Q3.
I mean, I don't think it should be a full disappointment, because it feels like your season so far seems to be going pretty strong.
In terms of space, I believe we are quick. In terms of luck, even though it sounds like an excuse, I don't think we've been lucky. But yeah, Zandvoort is probably the race of this event that will be the most chaotic one. Many strategies to do, so...
Interesting. OK, so you've just mentioned chaotic. Talk me behind the chaos that you're going to be expecting then later.
I mean, I still don't know, because I don't know what other teams want to do where drivers start, so I don't know, but I'm sure that it will be chaotic.
How are you enjoying having Barry Borman back in the seat next to you?
It's good to have him back. You can see him showing already his own pace since day one. It's good that he's in Q3, so at least we have one of the cars in Q3. But at least I guess it's bad for the other Ferrari that it's not in Q3.
Do you know what I'm looking forward to, Ishmael? The first time I met you was over in Birmingham at DreamHack, and you had an incredible race, and it included a little mini dance by you at the end of the race there. Do you remember that?
I do remember that.
Will we see that again?
Maybe if I win the race or get pole again.
We're staying hopeful. Thank you, Ishmael. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Nicola. No dance moves today, but later in the season, there's definitely a possibility for it. I like the preview of spicy strategies from our man who won when we raced in Barcelona. Here's Otis Lawrence going up there nice and early, very early. If you consider only Thomas Ronhaar is on the track. So Otis Lawrence deciding to get a sighter in at this stage of the session. DRS open, through the bank corner we go, over the line, and we plot the time on the board of a 1:07.7. And let's see how Thomas Ronhaar stacks up to that. And it's a way off the best that we saw earlier on, so maybe not fresh tyres, Thomas Ronhaar moves himself ahead of Otis Lawrence. They're the only two out there at the moment.
Yeah, it's just a lap on the board for these drivers. Of course, they're not going to be pushing 100% because the last thing you want to do is dig yourself an early grave in this Q3 session, which we've seen so many times from drivers piling all the pressure onto their final laps and just not being able to perform with the spotlights on top of them. Thomas Ronhaar just able to pip Otis Lawrence's time by about 0.008 of a second. As you mentioned, Alex, these times about 5 tenths or 4 tenths away from what we were seeing in the session earlier on in Q2. Do expect those times to tumble, especially with the likes of Otis Lawrence, Nicholas Longe, and the 2 Red Bull drivers making it into Q3. What a switch around from Spa, Alex. I mean, Jarno Opmeer bouncing back off what was one of his worst qualifying sessions in so long. He's able to recover, just put that in the back of his mind, delete it from his memory, and now come with a fresh head.
Yeah, he's got into the session that he needs to, and then he will know he's a contender if he's in the top 5. It's as simple as that, looking at the previous evidence of his decorated career. Thomas Ronhaar's set a time on the board. Barry Borman's heading out there on an out lap. He's a contender for pole position. Barry Borman knows how to convert them. He's done that before around here. He's our most recent winner at this venue, and he will be hoping to show all of that form once more. Man, previously of McLaren, now of Ferrari, and a couple of second places before his victory here last year. Ismail Fassi, his teammate, knocked out. He was second to him 1 year ago when he was racing for Williams. We're building up now for the rest of the field, ending their out laps and showing us their hand early on. And everyone goes in synchronicity for that final run later on. But we're coming over the line and we are ready to see some attacking laps. I expect Josh Idu to move further around and really start attacking this racetrack, looking for an improvement, looking for something that gives him a sniff at where he was in last time he was racing in Barcelona, with the top 5 very much in his sights today.
2 career pole positions for the Alpine driver. Josh Idu stepping in for this Zandvoort circuit and looking to make it 3 if possible. Had an outstanding result out in Barcelona, was able to show why he's part of this Alpine fairing and a very crucial part of the team. When Beresnay needs a break and needs to step out of the seat, this man is able to jump in and perform as if nobody is gone. Josh Idu, the Welsh pairing in the Alpine livery for this race, manages to thread the needle very nicely. There is the Welshman as he makes his way into the final parts of the circuit. It's all about getting that foot planted and keeping the car straight there through Kumo Box, and he's able to do so. It's going to be a mad dash to the line. What can Josh Idu do for his first time on the board? He'll now break the timing, being from 6th, and jumps to the top of the order. 107.570 for the Welshman. The Frenchman of Nicholas Longe, though, says, well, don't get too excited because I'm jumping to the top now. 107.293 for Nico Longe, so much quicker than what we saw in the previous qualifying session. And Barry Borman wants a bite of the cake as well.
Yeah, he's found the first driver to find himself in the 107.1s. The .1s was always going to define it. That is a very, very strong time on the board for Barry Borman. Here was his nearest contender. Identical lap time last time around for Freddie Rasmussen. Will he be ahead? Will he be in the 107.1s? He comes over the line. You bet he will be. That is a big time to go on the board. An 0.08 of a second around Zandvoort is very useful. What about Jarno Opmeer? Out in Q1 yesterday. Top 5 will do. And in 3rd position, Ruben Pedreno again proving he's got 1 lap pace around Zandvoort circuit. Let's head to our championship leader, trying to win his first title this year. Otis Lawrence looking minimum for a 107.2. Can he find that minimum as he comes across the line? No, it's better than that. That's a massive improvement when it matters. Front row, and he's into the 107.1s.
Yeah, still plenty of time left in this session, so drivers will crawl back to the pit lane to get one more time on the board. Rasmussen with a blistering lap right there. Purple sector 2, Purple Sector 3 setting a time that's only 9 thousandths off the session theoretical best. So Freddie Rasmussen almost perfect out there on the Dutch circuit with the gravel surrounding him. Freddie Rasmussen doing what needs to be done in the moments of pressure. Otis Lawrence, though, he'll know where he lost the time. Those 300ths, Lawrence is very good at adapting his driving style, learning from his mistakes, and also analysing his opponents on where he can do better on his final run. So don't count him out just yet.
Well, there is absolutely a chance that Otis Lawrence can find 300ths of a second in the final 3 minutes of this session. Freddie Rasmussen, though, that is a scorching lap time to be so close to the absolute best across all 3 sectors of the racetrack. Marvellous from him in all 3 parts of qualifying today. He's second in the points, and the top 2 in the standings are the top 2 in our order at the moment. 100% of battery, running in 4th gear, running out of sequence. Thomas Ronhaar, is he going to get on with it immediately? Looks like a man who's going to get his lap in right now. He's gone for an outlap out of sequence to everyone else.
Yeah, Ronhaar actually pulling that one into the pit lane, so thinks better of it, and will go one more time once he exits the pit lane. 2 minutes and 45 seconds remaining on the clock. Not a bead of sweat on the forehead of Freddie Rasmussen, as he is not worried at all. Now, if you were playing poker with any of the drivers, I would be scared to play against Freddie Rasmussen. You cannot read any emotion on that man's face. But talking about emotion, if we see a pole position from Otis Lawrence, it feels like it's been a while since we've seen any of his extravagant celebrations, Alex.
Yeah, he's into championship management mode, isn't he? He's thinking about the big picture. And that's been dialed down more and more and more. But the adrenaline-fueled reactions have become a part of F1 sim racing in recent times. He's in the mix. 1 run to go for our field. Field that currently reads Freddie Rasmussen, Otis Lawrence, top 2 in the point standings, reversed at the moment on our front row. Then Barry Borman, Ruben Pedreno with a superb performance in 4th as it stands. Can he see it through all the way to the end? Nicholas Longuet, a good turnaround as it stands, P5. Jarno Opmeer, 3rd in the standings, going into this one in 6th. And Josh Edu, Alfie Butcher, Thomas Ronhaar, and Alvaro Carreton, the drivers who find themselves in the top 10. There is a big spread between those at the very front and 10th place by the standards of modern F1 sim racing.
Yeah, 6/10 is a big margin in F1 sim racing these days. That gap will very surely be cut down. That man right there, currently 10th in the qualifying order, Alvaro Carreton, will be looking to get a move on and get some improvements on his lap. Will the Spaniard, Alvaro Carreton, 10 points in the standings so far. Hasn't had many appearances, but very loyal to that Williams team. The only driver that's managed to stick with one team all the way throughout his F1 sim racing career. Alvaro Carreton feels very at home with the Williams surrounding and support that he has. 2 career pole positions, 3 career podiums, and looking to just add to that total. He said maybe this was the year that he finally gets a race victory.
Well, he'll be hoping so. He'll be looking for a solid improvement. Just looking to try and win his sort of battle of the bottom half on the left-hand side of your screen, really. Can he find a couple of tenths and improve at the very last? Freddie Rasmussen's gone early here. So Freddie Rasmussen not messing around. The late out laps for everyone else now beginning things. He is a long way around this lap. Freddie Rasmussen's only sector that let him down, if you can call it letting him down, he dropped 9 thousandths to the best through sector 1. He is looking for perfection. It is very rare that you see purple sectors in all 3 parts of the lap. An improvement here could take it away. Checkered flag is waiting for our main contenders. Freddie Rasmussen has found the fastest first sector of anyone so far. If he maintains the pace from before, it's going to be a massive task for anyone to do anything about it. Freddie Rasmussen, 2nd in the points, looking to be 1st over the line. Provisional pole at the moment, cuts the beam, and he takes it further away from the rest of the field. And Otis Lawrence is facing the wrong way. Chasing pole position, our championship leader spins. Over to you, Barry Borman. Can you find it at the last? He can improve to the front row. Otis Lawrence vulnerable here because Longuet improves, Butcher improves, but he doesn't take Lawrence. Alvaro Carreton gets up to 7th position. That was an improvement by 0.3 of a second. Ruben Pedreno is to 3rd. What a great qualifying hour for the Aston Martin driver. We go over the line with Thomas Ronhaar. He's in 10th place. And in the end, Fast Freddy delivers on the nickname. He's taken a fine pole position, a brilliant display of driving around this circuit once more from the 2-time winner in Zandvoort. And it's Barry Borremund in 2nd, Ruben Pedreno in 3rd, Nicolas Longuet in 4th, and Otis Lawrence chasing provisional pole. Had the spin, he gives the wall a whack, and he will start from 5th place, crucially ahead of Jarno Opmeer. Back in Q3, but behind both of his nearest rivals for the title. Butcher in 7th and Josh Idu in 8th, Alvaro Carreton in 9th, and Thomas Ronhaar completes our top 10. Freddie Rasmussen is the driver to beat. He's got a point for pole position.
As soon as we saw that purple Sector 1 come in, we knew that qualifying was locked away there for the Red Bull driver. Alfie Butcher there able to come home in 7th position in his qualifying results, but Freddie Rasmussen just in a league of his own out in front. From strength to stride, he was able to top the field, but Otis Lawrence, what a shame there. And I think that was a bit of a crack in the shield there, a little bit of a chink in the armour from Otis Lawrence as he was struggling to get that lap even started. I don't think he even managed to get that lap started, did he? We're going to get a replay right here. Well, he was on a lap, he was up 700ths, and Kumo boxed once again, just the kryptonite of Otis Lawrence. We're going to get another angle of this one. It was strong on the entry, gained a bit of time, but maybe a bit too strong as he was carrying too much speed, and the rear end just getting away from him. Not what you would expect from our championship contender.
No, he was in the mix, wasn't he? He was finding an improvement. I think it would have still left him 2nd, but if he'd made it stick at that stage, it would have been a 2nd place. In the end, it's 5th. It's Freddie Rasmussen. He'll be alongside Barry Borremund. He'll be 8 metres back at the start of the race. Remember, Barry Borremund, very strong around here. Ruben Pedreno, brilliant performance all hour long. Gets himself P3 for Aston Martin. Nicolas Longuet doing well with a strong P4. And Otis Lawrence spinning away the chance of the front row and finding himself in 5th, 1 place ahead of Jarno Opmeer. Our top 10 completed by Alfie Butcher, Josh Idu, Alvaro Carreton and Thomas Ronhaar. We move to the 2nd page, which begins by Ismail Fassi. Missed out on Q3 by 0.06 of a second. Tom Manley in 12th. Then it's Tiko Hardy, Hoffland, Benham, Tormula, Crozen and Tamas Gal completes the grid. So Freddie Rasmussen, this is the moment that he sealed it. And you could see the improvement. That was very, very impressive. It was a great first lap. It was a great second lap. And the only person to better him in any sector at all was his teammate, Jarno Opmeer. I think he's about 0.07 of a second away from the best lap possible in that session. Pretty good. Let's see what he makes of all of it. Marvellous driving from Freddie Rasmussen in conversation with Nicola now.
Yeah, loads of congratulations going on within this arena. I mean, just before we've gone live, Barry Borremund comes stepping up to you, Freddie, shakes your hand and says, that's exactly what I would expect to see from you.
Yeah, I guess Barry is one of the fastest guys, so I'm happy to be in front of him.
See, here's the thing, right? I spoke to you yesterday. You got on the podium in Spa. We're here in Zandvoort. How do you feel about the circuit in general when it comes to this track?
Zandvoort, it's usually a pretty good track for me. In the past 2 years, it was not very good, but I was feeling very confident this year on this track, so I just had to put it together.
Are there certain circuits that you kind of work harder on? Is this one of them?
No, I probably neglected this one the most because it's the easiest one.
Oh, it's the easiest one, he says very casually. I like that very much. Freddie, it's really nice to have fast Freddie back. And it seems like there could now potentially be a bit of a battle going on between you and Jarno, or is it still very much a teammate situation?
We're still both #1 drivers, so constructors comes first, and then we'll see what happens with drivers.
Well, here's the tricky part, because obviously we still have Otis Lawrence up there fighting that battle. And at the moment, well, as of yesterday, you have stepped above Jarno in terms of the Drivers' Championship. And there was a stage during Event 2 where we thought that you might end up being driver #2, but that's not happened, has it?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm not really thinking about that.
Okay, well, Freddie, I wish you all the best of luck for the race. And I can confirm, just before we went live, we did get a smile out of Freddie. Can we get another one? Yes! Smashed it. Back to you in the studio.
Yes, I mean it's got everything.
Oh, my
it's got
word.
everything. It's got everything. That is. I tell you what, Freddie will be very happy.
He just gave Nicola a high five, by the way.
Did he really?
He just gave Nicola a high five. We've had a smile and a high five and an immense lap, all from Freddie Rasmussen.
Do you know what it's taken? I mean, that is his 88th qualifying session. I mean, he is. We throw it around. He's the OG. He's this. When we talk about Jarno or Joni Tormula, but Freddie Rasmussen, that's his 20th pole position in F1 sim racing. Incredible. And he needed to put it all together. He did that. Worrying for all the other drivers, especially when Barry Brumman, we know how quick he is, goes over and congratulate him. Is it all sewn up and done? Can we write off all the other teams now? Is it Red Bulls to take? Is it going to be Jarno's? Is it going to be Freddie? Are we needed any more Alex Jakes here?
No, we're just going to turn the lights off like we've been eliminated in quali and just sit here in the dark. Freddie Rasmussen, when he's casually confident like that, whoa, worrying signs. Barry Borman's immense around this circuit. 3 podiums in a row around here. Last time on the top step. He's had to sit and watch with the rest of us for a couple of rounds as well. So he'll be very, very motivated to take back-to-back wins around here. Start's going to be crucial. Calling the strategy correctly is going to be crucial. You already heard from Ishmael Fassi that Ferrari are considering all sorts of options. Gave the game away a little bit. He predicted chaos. So no foregone conclusions. But yesterday was great in qualifying because it was mixed up, different exam questions, if you like. We had one shot in the wet, and then we had can you put on the correct tyres at the correct time for Q3? Today was can you be immense in the dry around a really, really narrow circuit. We saw spins in Q1. He delivered. Great standard.
And the one he neglected practice the most on because it's the easiest. It's just immense. We are getting closer to Jarno Opmeer securing 1,000 points in F1 sim racing. It's like
this man's got the notes.
He has got the notes.
He's prepared.
989 points, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, thank you. The 2 points up from yesterday.
Hold on a minute. This man's got the notes as
well.
well.
There we go.
What do you think while quality's going on?
Armed with stats.
I go away, I listen to you on it, and I'm looking at the stats, looking at what's about to happen. Otis almost out of Q2, then that spin. In terms of those driver swaps, exciting to see the Josh Edo proving that swap's vitally important. Didn't happen for all of the teams, but what can Alpine do? What can Otis do? I suppose for him now it's about securing as many points as he possibly can to keep the drivers' championship lead.
Well, he was very visual in his frustration after that qualifying, and understandably so. He'd made that mistake quite a few times during the 3 qualifying sessions that we saw. He wasn't the only driver that was making that mistake on the exit of Kumo box, but Otis Lawrence, I mean, he just seems to be so polished so far this season. We haven't really seen any mistakes there from the 18-year-old, which is crazy to say that at such a young age that he's so mature in terms of his driving style and is able to get results week upon week in these events. But yeah, once again, mistake there from Otis Lawrence, but recovery in the race, I'm sure it's inbound.
The luck of the Irish did not work for Thomas Gal. He'll be starting at the back of the grid for him today. Mascots sometimes are needed down there.
New mascot.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. Next mascot in.
Off to the F1 gift shop.
Yeah. Some merch from F1. It was exciting, as you say. Can you do it in a dry? The conditions are perfect for you. Just absolutely send it. It didn't happen. Interesting enough, though, shout out to Ruben Pedreno. I said that no points in the last 4 races. He did it. Freddie, Duncan Hoffman there, made it into Q2. No further, didn't make it into Q3. But Aston Martin, an opportunity to move themselves off the bottom of the team standings. And as we've mentioned a few times, I feel like they might do, actually. I'm hearing from the producer they might switch our lights off for us.
They'd be brave.
But it happened a few times. Nico Longe, he'll be starting in P4. Sort of a return for him. He knows what he needs to do. It's just race now.
Well, both of the Williams drivers gave us that first hint that there's a little bit of trouble at that banked turn. Just carrying too much speed, different things. You had drivers getting over the curb, taking too much curbs. Very, very raised curb, that part there. We saw Otis Lawrence later on in the session, just taking too much speed. Look at this point, nearly 7 up. It's going to plan, and then wait for it. Oh, it breaks traction. Say goodbye to the front row for our championship leader, who knows that the speed was there, but the grip wasn't.
It's fascinating to watch. And Freddie Rasmussen, what a time as well. 107. 107.1. I think the fastest last year was a 107.8, I think, set by Barry Burman. So, yeah, rapid is what Freddie Rasmussen is, a 107.04. Can we talk about the fact, as we get that classification there, that as I see it there, the talking point, 5th and 6th, Otis Lawrence, Jarno Opmeer, side by side. What can we expect from the launch at the start of the race?
Well, we've seen a lot of, it's 180 degrees this first turn, it's banked on the outside as well. You get a lot of pinch points turn 1 and 2 here, sometimes even if you don't want them. And you're reacting. We've had plenty of carbon fibre flying in Belgium there. So that's basically mid-pack for those guys, given they're used to winning week in, week out.
Okay, I was gonna sing his song, Ooh, Ruben Pedrino. We're about to have a little chat with him now. I'm gonna say Vamos. He must be very happy, Nicola.
I am very happy. Also, wonderful song there, Tom. You didn't actually manage to hear that, Ruben, but Tom was just singing, Oh, Ruben Pedrino. How are you feeling, P3?
Yeah, not too bad, I guess. Difficult event 2 for me, being in Q3 every quali but not getting points. And yesterday with wet as well, tricky conditions, too much wet on the track and not being able to go to Q3 and then bounce back here, my favorite track, P3. Knew that was coming, to be honest, and I was feeling it, so yeah, really happy.
Your favourite track, but also second favourite track was Bahrain, where you were also on the podium where I spoke to you last time.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like I'm doing good results in my best track. So yeah, maybe we can get something more than a podium here.
I mean, maybe you could. I want to talk about your positioning here, though, because it's quite an interesting place where you are, because you're in P3. In front of you, you've got legends of the sport. You've got Barry Burman and you've got Freddie Rasmussen. Behind you, you've got a championship battle going on between Jarno Opmeer and Otis Lawrence. What chaos can you create in the middle?
Oof, maybe try and go for that P1 and let them crash behind me at some point with the strategy. So yeah, we will discuss now, but that championship fight can probably help me and get a bit more than where I started. So yeah, let's see how it goes and hopefully not crashing to me for that battle. So yeah, it can be fun. I think it will be fun to watch.
Go and chill out, enjoy the race later. Excited to see maybe a little cheeky podium, I reckon.
Yeah, I hope you interview me again. That could be good.
That would be nice. I'll speak to you later then, Ruben. Cheers. Tom, back to you.
Setting the future there as we see Ruben Pedrino's lap here to secure that P3. Last time you went there for event 1 at DreamHack Birmingham, Alex, but Nicola interviewed Ruben Pedrino and used up all her Spanish. It mainly involved ordering drinks. So yeah, he didn't really know how to respond to it, but they've got a good rapport for Aston Martin at the moment. They know this will be starting in P3. As Ruben said, going talking to the team, talking about that strategy, because they definitely need some points for the team standings. However, you just saw in the corner of the screen, but it's gone. I was told it was going to be there the whole time. The countdown is on.
Can we get it back?
Yeah, can we please?
Can we get it back? I've never seen 84 minutes written.
Guess what? 84 minutes.
I've never seen it counting down. Yeah. Very strange.
That is what is happening in 84 minutes. We'll be back here in these seats, refreshed, ready to go for a race.
I thought we had a longer break than that, everybody.
It set itself up perfectly.
Yeah.
Anything can happen. Who's gonna take the win? I mean, just to leave that for everybody to think about.
I think Barry Barman's determination is going to be sky high. He's my pick.
Kai?
You know what? I'll back the Spaniard. Let's go, Ruben Pedrino.
Oh, it'd be amazing if he did it.
I don't think you can look any further than Freddie Rasmussen. He wants it. He's neglected this track and it's his easiest. So there you go, set up perfectly. We'll see you very shortly. Thank you very much for everyone involved. Nicola as well, down with the drivers and to the team here behind the scenes. We'll see you in 83 minutes.